This is Bruce Boudreau, and it's time for Clay's Canucks commentary live. Let's go with Clay right now.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks commentary live, presented to you by Van City Experts. I am Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Monday, March the 20th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Moderators, thank you in advance. Do what you need to do. Members, Legends, Hall of Fame, and franchise members, thanks for your support as always. Everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether in my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston, in Richmond, in the city, in the province, Lower Mainland, province, country, continent, or around the world, thank you for being here. You know that I don't take you for granted. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for school, work, bed, all three, although some of you are on spring break. And so I always appreciate you, and I never, ever take you for granted. So this is what you can do as we get started. Subscribe so you can get active in the chat section, and so you can get my videos every single day. Like the video. There's already 31 of you in here. Thank you. Many of you from Canucks After Dark. Thank you for pulling double duty tonight. 31 of you in here, only 11 likes. Let's bump that up. And you can always leave a donation, get that donation train out of the station. Gift memberships. We got another 10 new memberships last night, which is amazing. And you can become a member yourself. You can upgrade your own membership. And most importantly, get active in the chat section. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And then don't forget, I'll go for the first 15, 20 minutes, do a mid-show sponsor read, and then I'll turn it over to you. But before I get going, I want to wish a happy 53rd birthday to one of the stalwarts on this channel, been a long time franchise member. So happy birthday to Coach Rob. And I didn't plan this, but I'm just going to do it right now. Happy birthday to you. I want to thank you for your support, Coach Rob, and for all that you do. All right, there we go. That was half singing, half speaking, because you guys don't want to hear me sing. But yes, Coach Rob, happy birthday, and thank you so much for your support. I hope you had a great day. I know it involved Denny's. I know it involved your coworkers making you lunch. So you actually went in on your day off. And then I know it also meant hanging out with Shannon, checking on her, your best friend. So you guys have an awesome thing going. And it means also watching Canucks After Dark and then watching me to end it off. So what better way to end off your birthday than to hang out with some of the most cool Canucks fans around. And speaking of cool Canucks fans, Hall of Fame member Carol Bovenlander again coming through with another gift of 5 memberships. So Carol, thank you for gifting. By the way, see what I'm doing there? I'm pausing. I'm letting the horn kind of ring and resonate, and then it means less chance of me getting cut off. So I hope that audio worked for all of you. Carol, a $25 donation results in 5 franchise memberships. So Samuel, DSS, Jarvis, Jamesico, and Ernest, welcome to the channel. And you guys are amazing. So welcome to franchise membership. And Carol, thank you for your generosity. Rosario says, if I went to Red Robin and Clay started singing happy birthday to me, I wouldn't mind standing up on my chair. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? We have a legendary Just Incredible coming through. A $5.50 donation from the legend himself. Just an FYI, the NHL United by Hockey Mobile Museum is tomorrow outside Rogers Arena from 3 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. free of charge. Meet Randeep Janda of Sportsnet 650 from 6 to 6:30. Very, very cool, Justin. And did I see you saying that you actually checked it out prior to it opening? So that if you did, that's really cool. And anyone going to the game tomorrow, you are welcome. Go check it out. That's again the NHL United by Hockey Mobile Museum. Okay, before I talk about the Canucks, speaking of food and day off, I was talking about Coach Rob having a day off and then getting spoiled with some good meals today. I just got to tell you this one thing, you guys, before I get going here. Indulge me for a second, as I might actually share this on the screen with you. So, you guys know that my lovely wife Gail is a vice principal, so she's on spring break both last week and this week, and then today, what I took 2 days off this week so I could hang out with her. So I took out, looked at my work schedule, and it turns out that I'm off this week today, Monday, and I'm going to take Friday off as well. So today, me, Gail, Kayla, and Sean. Kayla on spring break. Sean had class at UBC, then came home. Then we went to Tawasin Mills and spent the afternoon there. Jacob was bowling all weekend in the tournament, so he was staying at home resting and editing. So we all went to Tawasin Mills, spent a bit of money. I bought myself a new suit at Banana Republic, got a really good deal on it. And then we went to this sukiyaki place in Richmond. It just opened up 3 months ago. It's called Kumo, and it's all you can eat sukiyaki. So sukiyaki is basically hot pot broth and meat and veggies and then it was basically the four of us, and it would really be a waste of money to bring Jacob anyways, because he's so picky as an eater. So the four of us went straight from Tawasin Mills to the sukiyaki place. So I just want to share with you a couple of things that you may have seen it on my Twitter today, or my Instagram if you follow me on there. So it started off like this. I said, if you haven't heard from me by the end of the night, send help. And this was sent at 6:30. But we got there at 5, and you have a 2-hour time limit. And we basically took the entire 2 hours until they were trying to kick us out of the restaurant because we took so long. So you can see there's the beef that's cooking there. You just got to blanch it because it's so hot. There's some mushrooms, big mushroom, some cabbage and onion, and then some udon, which is noodles, some tofu. And then I didn't take a picture, but picture all around this hot pot were different meats and veggies. So it was so good. So that was what I tweeted at 6:30. Then I said this. I said, I ate so much at Kumo that I had Gail drop me off at number 3 road so I could walk home. And there's Gail in the front seat, and then Sean and Kayla in the back. And I didn't obviously put my license plate up there. If anyone recognizes Richmond, this is the corner of Steveston Highway and number 3 road. I actually wanted to walk home from the restaurant, which would have probably been about an 8-kilometer walk home. So I probably could have done it in about an hour, 15, hour and a half. And I had the time. This was at 7 o'clock. Would have got home by 8:30 or 9 at the latest if I was slow. And then I still had time to do Canucks After Dark. But then Kayla and Sean and Gil were afraid that I was going to pass out, or B, I'd have to go to the bathroom really badly and I wouldn't have a place to go and might have an accident in my pants. So we compromised, and they drove maybe 60%, just over halfway. So 60% of the way home. And then they dropped me off at 3 in Steveston. I insisted they at least let me walk. And that was basically a 2.5-kilometer walk. And there I see Sean getting ready to work out. So he knows we all felt really heavy coming out of that meal. And then finally, so this was about a 2.5-kilometer walk. So it took me just over half an hour. And then I said, so if you find me passed out somewhere along Steveston Highway, please pick me up and drive me home, please, and thank you. So there we go. A nice look down Steveston Highway heading west, if you know Richmond, and a nice sunset to boot. So that was my exciting night. Thank you for letting me share it with you. Yeah, I feel a little bit sluggish, but at least I got a good half an hour walk in, and of course my 10,000 steps. Was gonna say I think I saw Kaya from Game Over Vancouver in here. I saw Robert, my SDPN producer extraordinaire. He's in here as well. Thank you. Navigating that 3-hour time change. I saw Jay saying he's leaving already, but I'm not sure what he shared in the first place and why he got so upset. But I will have to find that a little bit later. I don't have time to go through it right now. So for those of you that are still here, appreciate all of you being here, and thank you for letting me share my culinary experience. Really quick, Justin and I are going to the game on Thursday. So I was going to suggest we meet at that Japanese place, but we got time. We have time to plan that before Thursday. And as Kaya says, Tuasa Mills is goated. Yes, we're happy to meet you there one day, and we can hang out there for sure. Jason says this, and then I better get to what I'm going to talk about. Then I'll answer all your questions. The last one I'll ask right now. Just curious, how were you able to get Bruce Boudreau to do your opening cameo? That's a great get. Well, I won't divulge all my secrets, but the answer to your question, Jason, is actually in your question. And if anyone who knows anything about how these things work, you can probably guess. But yes, the answer to your question, Jason, is actually in your question. And I actually had to edit it. It used to say, this is Bruce Boudreau, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. But as you can see now, it just says, this is Bruce Boudreau, and you're watching Clay's Canucks commentary. Let me talk really quickly about what I want to talk about, and then I'll turn it over to all of you. Canucks did not play tonight, but in the battle of the bottom, Ottawa did beat Pittsburgh. Detroit did lose to Florida. Chicago got blanked by the Avalanche, and the Sharks picked up a point in overtime against Edmonton in a thrilling game. By the way, speaking of thrilling, kudos to Japan for knocking off Mexico in the bottom of the ninth in the World Baseball Classic semifinal. Pretty exciting. What that means is, for the standings, it looks like this after competition today. Columbus, San Jose, Chicago, Anaheim all suck. We always talk about these bottom four teams. The next batch, Montreal at 60, Philly at 62, Arizona at 65, Vancouver and St. Louis are tied at 67, and then Detroit 69, Buffalo at 72. But you know what's crazy? Detroit is 2-7-1 in the last 10. Buffalo is 2-6-2 in the last 10, whereas Vancouver is 8-2. So it's not inconceivable that the Canucks actually jump up 2 or 3 more spots. But for now, they are in 8th from the bottom in 25th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, but tied with St. Louis. So they could be 9th from the bottom very, very quickly. Now, this is kind of leads into what I want to talk about. They are 8-2 in their last 10. If you look at that, there's only 3 other teams that are actually have won 8 of the last 10, and they're all the 3 teams in the Pacific Division: LA, Edmonton, and Vegas. Oh, what were one of those losses that LA had? Well, that was against the big, bad, mighty Vancouver Canucks. So this is what I want to talk about for about 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, exactly, Justin. We might catch Detroit and Buffalo too, considering our schedule and the recent trends of all 3 teams. That's exactly what I was getting at. So this is what I want to talk about just for a couple minutes, and then I'll throw it over to all of you. Oh, I see that Kempner is in here as well. Kempner Canucks. If you haven't subscribed to Kempner yet, make sure you go check out some of his work. He's working hard at building his YouTube channel, which is pretty exciting. This is what I want to get at very quickly, and then I'll throw it to all of you for your feedback. I've said many times, and you don't have to hear me go into my big song and dance again, when the Canucks play average, they are too good. They're too talented to be as bad as some of the teams below them in the standings. So we have that. We know that to be true. I've said repeatedly that I think their bump under Tocchet is more sustainable than their bump under Boudreau last year, because a lot of that was based on Demko playing out of his mind last season. Although a couple of people have pointed out to me that our schedule was tougher last season than it is this season. I'll give you that for sure. But even when you look at this game, you don't even worry about last year. You look about the team this year. What you're seeing is a lot more structure. You're seeing a lot better defensive play, and you're seeing guys like Pettersson, Hughes, Miller, Kuzmenko, our most talented players, really being put into positions to succeed. So there's all that. Let's throw that all on the table. Then remember, Filip Hronek hasn't even practiced with the team yet. Hopefully that's going to be very soon this week. Ilya Mikheyev and Tanner Pearson, both serviceable top 9. In Mikheyev's case, maybe a top 6 forward. Both of those guys shut down for the season. We don't even know if Pearson's coming back. And OEL, say what you want about him, he's still an NHL defenseman, although he makes a lot of money. He is still hurt. So we're doing this without OEL, Mikheyev, Pearson, Hronek, and you can throw Travis Dermott in there as well. Of course, a lot of changes, minor changes, like Stillman traded, Shen traded, and then Lockwood traded for Kravtsov. So some new faces, Beauvillier, obviously for Horvat, Kravtsov, and others. So my question then to you, considering everything, 8-0-2 in their 8-2 in the last 10, 13-8-2, 5 games over 500 under Rick Tocchet. Pettersson and Hughes showing no signs of slowing down, coming to their own. Miller refining his game. Kuzmenko, another 2 years under contract. Demko refining his game. My question simply to you is this. Can this team be a contender next season? That's my question. And I'm not saying Stanley Cup contender, make it to the Final Four or the Stanley Cup Finals, because I think that's unrealistic. But what I am saying is, can this team contend for the playoffs? And I say, Clay, well, that's such a low bar. Yes, but look how far we are from the bar this season. So I'm asking you, do you think the team can be a contender as early as next season? In the chat, tell me what you think. Tell me what has to happen. What, obviously, they got to stay healthy. Demko's got to play well. They need solid backup goaltending. They got to improve their defense, and the star players got to continue to be their star players. But imagine a healthy Demko. Imagine a penalty kill that doesn't suck. And could the Canucks be even a playoff contender this year? But my question is, can they be a playoff contender next season? What has to happen for them to do so? I will start to read your comments after I do my mid-show sponsor read. Thank you to Van City Experts, my primary sponsor. I believe Jason's in the chat tonight. Contact Jason Lim for all of your real estate needs. Thank you to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Sign up now for a free 21-day weight loss challenge. Use the link ptformweightloss.com/CanuckClay, and Coach Patrick will contact you. Thank you to Gassy Jack Art, maker of this fine artwork. Thank you to Monkey 9 Brewing, my eternal sponsor. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and get a free pair of socks with your next Vessi order, like IC did a couple of days ago. As always, a mid-show reminder for you, to all of you, to subscribe, to like the video, to leave donations, to gift a membership, become a member, upgrade your membership, and get active in the chat section. So I will do my best to read your comments. There's 70 of you in here, which is great, but you can start leaving comments as of now. And if you left it a couple seconds ago, please just copy and paste if you think it's really important and that I never got to it. Let's go. Yes, and I think maybe win the first round. Wild card contender for sure, in the hunt, meaningful games in March. That's a lot better than having no meaningful games from November on. If this team can be top 10 power play, which we are, top 15-20 penalty kill, we will make the playoffs. I like that confidence, Jason. Contender, but what's the point? We'll be stuck in the middle again. So that's a bit of pulling a bit of cold water on it. We need a third line center, agreed, and another good right-hand D, agreed. 2 to 3 defensemen away. Trade Myers, and it'll go a long way. We will be confident contenders, and we need one more better defense. What are your thoughts on why Hughes is not getting consideration for the Norris? Carlson, yes, because our team sucks. No, wait a sec. But San Jose sucks even more. So it's not that. But I think you work with me on this one. I think you can only have so many guys from teams that suck. So that would be Carlson was, especially at the start of the season, was more noticeable from a points perspective, although Hughes has been amazing. And then you're always going to have your Yossi's, your Josh Morris's, your Cale Makar's, your Charlie McAvoy's from guys from teams that are much better. So I don't think you can have, for instance, you wouldn't have Carlson and Hughes as your Norris candidates from two teams that are in the bottom 10 of the league. I know that's not the best explanation, but I think of the sucky teams, Carlson got more attention than Hughes at the start of the year. But that's a great question. If Pettersson and Hughes had a detrimental injury and turned into third line or a third pair, do you try and make a blockbuster trade for the first overall pick, given our place in the standings? If Pettersson or Hughes had a detrimental injury and turned him into third liner or third pair, I think there's too much what ifs, too much what ifs in there, GM Patrick Oveen, for me to answer. But at least you got the name spelled right now, which is good. Yeah, so that one's a really hard one for me to answer immediately. They won't be a contender next season. They lack depth. Possibly so up against the cap. Any upgrades won't come easy. Need a solid backup goaltender. If we get Betsy, then we'll make the playoffs. If we don't, it won't be easy. Who's Betsy? Is that Connor McDavid? We need that. Our defense back. I like the structure under Tocchet. I think we can be a playoff team next year under Tocchet. There we go. Depends on the rest of this season. Also see if PD, Kuzi, Hughes, and Demko plays at the level they've been playing over the last 10 to 20 games. if the Canucks stay healthy and we upgrade our defense, maybe some forwards. We started too early. No, that's okay. I forgot. I'm trying my best to catch up, Robert, because there are some really, really good comments. Their recent success is due to some of the teams getting ready for playoffs and aren't playing 100%, playing teams worse than them who aren't playing their top players 27 minutes a night. Yeah, I can't disagree there. Morrissey's on for 79, Hamilton 60, Hughes 63, Darlene. Well, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and you just listed. There are a lot of really good defensemen in the league right now. They should have been good this season. I agree. We need more depth. Only one major injury away from flushing another season being wasted. No comment. Just wanted to thank you for entertaining us every night. I try my best, Beastly. Thanks for your support. Yeah, under the Tocchet, the Canucks are 13, 8, and 2. So 28 points in 23 games. 5 games over 500. Canucks are decent with a solid Demko and a reasonable defense. Our top 6 is quite solid. How many points would McDavid get if he played for the Islanders? Oh yeah, I'd say he'd get fewer, but not a lot. I'd say he'd still be 120 point guy over 82 games. So 1.5 points per game still. I think he'd still be an 82 point guy. Sorry, 120 point guy. We need Oyel Myers upgrades. Plus, we need another centerman. I think it's important. Our faceoff percentage isn't very good. Yeah, we took a big dip when Horvat got traded. They need a few little tweaks, mainly at the blue line. If they can trade a couple contracts in the forwards, yes. Playoff appearance for the Canucks, as more likely should they make changes to their blue line for starters. Subpar D too often in the season why the Canucks, unlike the Sens, aren't this season even close to playoff spot. Agreed. Still up in the air regarding next season, but at least management is doing what the roster needs. Structure. Why wait until training camp to address it? Exactly. And they've been doing some moves, both good and bad. Oyel had great defensive stats last season. Not sure why such a huge difference this season. Yeah, his lack of speed has been concerning this season. Carlson is playing better than Hughes, but I think he's top 3. Eastern teams get more TV time. We're talking about exposure. Hitting the game Thursday. Nice. Can't wait to see Carlson live. Quite possibly a top minus defenseman or minus defenseman in NHL history. Yeah. We'll see. It's event. It's never a dull game when we play the Sharks. Find a better right-hand D to replace Myers with cheaper salary. Do I think Hsmfangirl is the top contender for the Canucks' most exciting player award this season? Yeah, it's either him or Pettersson. But I see Pettersson as being the MVP, and Hsmfangirl, because of his personality, could easily win. Yeah, I see Pettersson winning MVP, Hsmfangirl winning most exciting. Hughes obviously winning best defenseman. And then for unsung hero, oh gosh. Who is our unsung hero this year? Maybe you go with someone like Dakota Joshua. Maybe. How many... Oh, I should acknowledge this first. Jason Lim, back to becoming a franchise member. I told him he sponsors me. He doesn't have to be a member, but he's here. He's here. Well, let's give some love to Jason Lim in the chat, even though he doesn't have to sponsor me. I mean, as a member, because he already does so much for me already. Back to where we were. How many Breezeball, Juleson, Wolan, and Burrows can be top 6 regulars? None of them. None of them. Wolanin is the closest, and he would be a 6-7 to me. Breezeball, Juleson, Burrows, they cannot be a top 6 regular if this team wants to contend. Do you think we keep Oyel for one more year and playing with Hronek for a last-ditch effort for bounce back? Or if he regains his form close to last year, it's good but not great. Yeah, well, I think we're going to keep him. That's a good question. Versus a buyout. Yeah, I think we keep him for one more year and then talk about buyout for sure. No problem. Hope everything's okay. Go all in for Bedard. Got to trade for Bedard. Yeah, that's going to cost us our entire franchise. McAvoy is almost 20 points behind Hughes, although he's only on the ice for 31 even strength goals. Yes, because his team is so good. Who scores first, Hronek or Christian Wolanin? I'd say Hronek, even though Wolanin, I like him a lot. Big JT Miller fan, believer, do we still trade him in the offseason? That would change our chance to make the playoffs. Yes, I know. I've watched your videos, Kempner. I know you're a big Miller fan. I do not think we're going to trade him because if he performs at this level he is now for at least 4 years of his contract, then it's actually not a bad contract. What emotion will you have if a Canuck player doesn't wear a Pride jersey for warm-ups? Well, this is a tough one for me to answer. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I mentioned in last night's show, Fitness, I'm not sure if you were here, that I'll get into it closer to the day, because I think no matter what I say, no matter what angle I take, I'll get some people agreeing with me, and I'll definitely get some people disagreeing with me. The emotion I will have, sadly, will be the first one will be not surprised. And that's not a knock on the character of the Vancouver Canucks or the organization, just looking at the trends across the league. And then I'll just say this, and I won't say much more about this tonight. I'll have to hear the player's explanation, but I haven't heard an explanation that is pleasing to everyone. I can see, and I said this last night, and I'll tread carefully here. I can see where James Reimer was coming from. I don't necessarily agree with how he said it, but I can see, I didn't say I agree, I can see where he's coming from. Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see what happens on March 31st here. Playoffs, yes. With everyone healthy all season, the structure shown under Tocchet seems to be sustainable. Agreed. I'd like to think they can contend for playoffs next season, but also said the last 2 years, and they've fallen very short of that, so I can't say yes at this moment. Too many ifs. Totally fair. If Hronek is still alive, do you still keep Hughes with Bear, or do you do the right thing and experiment with Hughes and Hronek? I split up the last 10 to 12 games, and I try half of them with them together and half of them without. Are you still successfully refraining from drinking pop Pepsi? I drink at least 1 Coke a day. If you stop drinking, do you feel any better difference? No, Kelly, if I'm to be, and I never lie to you guys, I have not been perfect in my Lenten promise. I've been better, but I certainly have been perfect. Yes, I feel I obviously I have a better chance of losing weight when I don't drink the pop, but whether it's addiction or I'm just used to it, I do find that I do get headaches when the first couple of days where I try and drink no pop cold turkey. 13-8-2 is really good indeed. Dylan Ferguson versus the Penguins stopped all but 1 of 40 shots. Demko and Wayne. Yeah, I don't know enough about him. Last 13 games, it's still pretty weak schedule. I think they're going to go 6-5-2. 6-5-2. Who's better, Hogs or Podkolzin? I'm going Podkolzin. I think he's got a more complete game. No one would have foresaw our historically bad PK or Demko and goaltending looking average before injury this year. And without much cap space to fix things, it's going to be tough to improve drastically. Totally fair. I think there's more pressure for Canucks to make the playoffs next season than this season. They simply have to now. Otherwise, I think a core player is getting moved. That's fair. Final prediction on where we slot to end the season. I understand the stress level suddenly, but what can you do? No, I think we're going to go 6-5-2, and I think we're going to end up 9th from the bottom. Training camp is now play Baines and more. You know, Adam, good point. But Parker was telling me on Canucks After Dark that the Canucks have used up all of their call-ups, so they can't bring up anyone from Abbotsford unless it's an emergency. If Bedard comes to Vancouver, outshine Pettersson like McDavid outshines everyone in the league, would that be good or bad for us? Well, if Pettersson's on the team and Bedard's better than him, that's good for us. Do I see Miller mentoring Bedard? Sure, but he got to get here first. Other teams are going to get better too with more prospects and starts than we have every year. That's fair. How far would the Leafs go? That first round series is going to be fascinating between them and Tampa, but I don't see either of them getting past Boston. Wait, do members? I didn't even know this. Do members get less time between messages? Welcome back, Jay. Miller is the more physical player. Like the game versus Leafs, he responded with some big hits. Miller is more physical for sure. It'll be Demko tomorrow, especially because Delia played on Sunday. Shannon, do you think we'll have a captain next season? I think it's going to be Pettersson. Saw Captain Kirk at the keg and someone approached him for a photo. He was not happy about it. Yeah, it's dinner is kind of like a no-fly zone, I think. Jason says, can we hit the like button? Jason's a smart guy. PD ain't getting moved. Let's not even talk about that. Thatcher the Snatcher in the net tomorrow. Are you shocked how much Mark Sturm's regressed? I'm shocked at how bad that whole team has been, quite frankly. Yeah, very shocked. Are they trying to pump up Brock's numbers playing in the top 6 in power play? He's had a really bad year. Fitness, I actually did a couple of videos about Brock earlier last week. His goal scoring has been off, but every other part of his game has improved. Who's the backup goalie for the Canucks now? It is indeed Delia. Seelovs and Martin are down in Abbotsford. If Horvat and Miller drop the gloves in Vancouver, who do you see being victorious? I think Miller would win that fight, given that we see Miller / Delia and have a lot of tantrums. I just think he's more aggressive. Say what you want about Benning, but choosing Demko over Markstrom, the best decision he's made as GM, other than obviously drafting Petey and Hughes, Markey. Yeah, but I don't think it was such a major decision at the time because we knew we were going to lose one or the other to expansion if we had both under contract. And you have to go with and he showed enough in the bubble where he was going to be good. So good decision, but I don't think it was brilliant by any shape of the imagination. If this team plays loose and confident, we can easily be a wild card team. Being a cup contender is another topic. Agreed. Hello, Terp. Would you say Ethan Bear was one of Alvin's best moves? Yeah, because we actually got Ethan Bear and Lane Peterson in that. So I was fine with that. I think we could talk at strategies and actually help and make sense. I think there's a word missing in there, but I agree. Coach Rob just subscribed to Kempner, which is awesome. Next, Netflix recommendations. Okay, I'll let everyone else handle that. They're allowed a lot of call-outs, but I think they've used them all, Coach Rob. Why do you think Tocchet will be able to help Vancouver next season when Bruce couldn't in his second season? Quite frankly, I think the changes that Tocchet has been trying to implement are more sustainable. I'm not sure what changes Boudreau brought in aside from, well, I don't know, that's discrediting him a little bit. Attitude and enthusiasm and motivation was a big thing, but I'm not. I think they're winning a lot of running gun games. I think Tocchet's methods seem more sustainable. Considering the Penguins got spanked again and they've dropped out of the wild card group, do you think offseason there's a few interesting players in the mix to get traded from other teams? Yeah, if it looks like they might fall out, which would be quite shocking. And I could see changes happening there for sure. How big of a role will Podkolzin and Hoglander contribute next season? Second line, third line. I think Podkolzin peaks at a second line. I think Hoglander peaks at a third line. And Ratu. I would love Ratu to be like the answer to our third line center, but I'm not sure if he's there just yet. Anyone else feel checked out on the season? I watch every game. The last two games I've been bored and haven't watched. Anyone feel the same waiting for the Stanley Cup playoffs? Some were checked out in November. I think the recent changes to the Canucks, and I'll always be interested in them, and not just because I have this channel. Once game 7 hits, Matthew and Marner disappear. I blame Sutter for the Flames. Sutter out, Boudreau in next season. Apparently we're facing Quick and Net tomorrow. Oh, that should be good. In 22 games under Tocchet, PK is 85.3. Yeah, a better PK and a better Demko to start the season, and we're battling for a playoff spot. Slow mode is on, so it takes 5 seconds. Yeah, I thought I set it to 20 seconds actually, but I believe you. Hello from Germany, Bern. Thanks for being here. Spencer Martin back in the A. Yeah, he had a rough year for sure. Yes, I grew up in Richmond. Do I remember any of the video arcades? I remember Lord Nelson, Laser Illusions. Yeah, I wasn't a big arcade guy, but I've been living in Richmond all 48 years of my life. This is a great question, Cody. I think they're going to give Spencer Martin another chance to win it out of training camp. They'll bring another goaltender, a veteran guy like Gilead to battle. And I think they want Seelovs and Abbotsford for one more season. Assuming the Flames have that slight chance to go to the playoffs, they destroy it. I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of games, Clay. Do you think that we can win the next couple? And then, yeah, I predicted that we go 2-1-1 in our next 4. So we have San Jose. We have Vegas. That's going to be tough. Then San Jose, then away in Dallas and Chicago. I think they go 2-1-1 in those games. So that's what I think is going to happen. Tocchet has won cups before. If we get the first overall pick and sign Fantilli instead of Bedard, do you think we as a fan base would riot? Yeah, that would be a bad look. Who is the best college player the Canucks could sign? Oh, I'm not big on this. I know there's a lot of talk about some right shot D-men. I have to get back to you on this one, Jack, for sure. What is the Canucks? Jarvis, someone just said it was 85%. Do we all agree here that we hope Flames miss the playoffs this year? I'd be fine with that. When Eddie McDonough going to play? I think one of these 2 home games. Marchand play has been so bad this season with the Flames that perhaps Canucks should be thankful not to keep him. Take care, David. Our fan base would riot if we lose the first round. Well, let's get there first. Surprised or disappointed for Calgary? I'm not disappointed. I don't like that team, and I'm moderately surprised. Hello, Andrew, the legend himself. Nice to see you. How much will tickets go up if we get Bedard? They've already set their prices, at least season ticket prices, and it's gone up 4 or 5%. The Flames did lose 8-2. Brutal. Boudreau is too soft on the team, which isn't great for teams. He should have had more time, but had a lot of time and nothing worked. Yes, Aiden McDonough is a winger, Jason. Does Carson Briere deserve to be canceled? It wasn't a good look. I have no sympathy for him. If I don't watch any playoffs, at least I can watch NASCAR. Okay, that's fair. I'm going to the Canucks game tomorrow. Maybe seeing the debut McDonough. Nice. Have fun, Jarvis. You think Demko will be sharp against Vegas? He better be. He better be, for sure. Canucks just didn't get anything from Mark Tanev. Was more upsetting than losing them to the Flames, who are missing the playoffs. Yeah, they're free agents. They let them walk. Yes, Angus, I've listened to every single episode. I listened to it on the day it comes out on the Friday. Aiden with JT. I've said that I would try him with Miller and Besser, replace DiGiuseppe there. Dollywall was saying on Twitter that Canucks were looking at centermen, NCAA players. And I know we talked about Livingstone in the past before. Quick is with Vegas. Yes, 5% raise on the ticket prices. How funny how Aiden said Jack Rathbone, good things to say, yet Rathbone wanted to trade out of here. Well, we don't know that for sure, Jay. But yeah, he hasn't had a smooth path. That's for sure. Hey, Alwyn from Japan. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Always appreciate your commentary on the Canucks. Who do you predict will win the Stanley Cup? I think it's going to be Boston over Colorado. That's the final I am predicting. Hopefully McDonough plays next game. Do you like how current line combos are? Yeah, I think it's fine. I think Garland's a little bit miscast with the two bigger players in Oman and Joshua, but that's because you're playing DiGiuseppe up on the second line. Why do we think we'll get the B guy? Is there any chance for that? Although thought we needed to get last. Anula, there's a draft lottery. So as long as you're in the bottom 11 teams, you have a chance to move up to first. And obviously your chances diminish the higher you finish in the standings. So as long as the Canucks are in the bottom 11, they have a chance to get Connor Bedard. And last question for tonight. Do you think the playoff race in the West has been decided? No, because Nashville, if they win out, they can still leapfrog Winnipeg for the final playoff position. My friends, I'm going to end off there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being, especially if you did double duty again. And like I said, and you're at Canucks After Dark tomorrow night. The Canucks host the Vegas Golden Knights. And tomorrow night, I will be doing my show at 11 p.m. So it'll be kind of a post-game show after my bowling, but before I go to my church hour. So I hope you can join me tomorrow at 11, where we'll break down the Canucks Vegas Golden Knights game. Moderators, thank you. Not sure how busy you were tonight, but I appreciate all your good work. Legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang. Thanks for being here as always and for your support. Thanks to all everyone who donated. Carol gifts 5 memberships. Jason Lim re-ups his membership, and Justin with the donation. I appreciate all of you and everyone else. I always appreciate you. I never take you for granted. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you for your support as always. On your way out, subscribe, like the video, become a member, upgrade your membership, leave a donation. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. And thank you to Van City Experts Real Estate. And thank you to Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. And earlier tonight, my lovely wife, Gail, she yelled down from upstairs. I could hear her. And she yelled down and said, Clay, do you ever get a shooting pain across your body? Like someone's got a voodoo doll of you and they're like stabbing it. And I replied, no, Gail, actually, I don't. And then she paused for a minute and she said, well, how about now? God bless and go Canucks go. Booyah.